What is going on, everybody? Tech enthusiast here, and in this video I will be reviewing GameSir's new telescopic control pad. This is the G8 Galileo. Okay, so opening up the box, we've got a smaller box here. I believe this is probably where the instructions are. So there is a sticker as well as instructions. I'm just going to speed up the video, but make sure you do read it as it shows you how to use some of the functions and modes. And then we've got the control pad, but let's get to the joystick caps. So this is the first one. So as we can see, this has got an indent. I believe this is like the default one as well, but this is slightly on the taller side. Next we've got a very small one, and it is small. And then lastly we've got another one, default size in terms of it's not being too tall, but no indent, as you can see. And here is the comparison. So as you can see, the left one is slightly taller, and the joysticks here are protected, which is kind of nice. Let's put the box aside. So the controller feels actually very good in the hands, definitely way better than the X2. Anyway, let me just stretch that, and you can see the springs here. There's 5 springs. Now in terms of the length, I believe it's about 18 centimeters, so you should be good for any phone, and it's not too flexible, which is good. Now let's talk about some of the features. So these analog sticks, they're actually Hall effect sticks, so you're going to get very precise controls and no drifting. You can hear the click. Alright, so on the top we've got the view button. Then we've got the D-pad. It is quite clicky, as you can hear. This is a tactile D-pad. Then we've got the M button, which you'll use for some button combinations. Then the screenshot button. So here we've got a soft rubber, then rubbers on the sides to keep the phone firm, and then the USB-C connector, which has an angle to it, so you can put in the phone safely. Then on the top right hand side we've got the menu button and then the face buttons, and these are membrane buttons. And then we've got the GameSir logo button here as well. Then on the top we've got the L button and the R button, and then the L trigger, R trigger. Again, these are Hall effect analog triggers, so you'll get very precise controls. So if you're playing shooting games or driving, you know, this will be good. Then on the bottom we've got a Type-C port with pass-through charging, so you can charge your phone, play at the same time, as well as a headphone jack, which is very nice to have. Then on the back we've got the GameSir logo along with the R4 and L4 buttons. So these are programmable, you can program them with the app. And then we can see the laser engraved texture grips to give you that extra grip. And if you thought that was it, well, there's one other feature. But before I show you that, let's get a quick comparison size with the 8-bit do controller I've got here. So obviously this is going to be slightly larger due to bigger phones. Now we can actually take these covers off. These are actually connected by magnets, as you can see here. There's like 4 connections, and they go into these slots. And you know what, I think this color in and of itself looks quite good. Now coming back to the joystick caps, if you wanted to change one of them, you just pull it out and then put them in. Oopsie. So this is a rectangular. I mean, if it was circle, you could have just put it in, but now you have to be very precise when you put it in. Okay, so that is in, and let me get the small one in actually. Okay, that is in, and then you just put the cover on and just snaps in, and here it is. You can see how tall that is compared to this one. And if you were thinking why, why did they include this, I think this is to mimic the GameCube control pad, because the C stick used to be smaller. So if you wanted a very similar feel to the GameCube control pad, this C stick is definitely what you want to use if you're using a GameCube emulator. So here I've got my Galaxy S23 Plus. Do ignore the crack on the screen protector, and this has got a thin case on, so we're going to see if this fits, because I've seen reviews where it says it doesn't work with cases. So let's get that in a slight angle, and as you can see, it is fitted in, and this gap is for camera bumps, but this phone is completely fine. And yeah, it actually fits with this thin case. So here is Super Mario Sunshine for the GameCube, which supports the analog triggers. So I'm just going to lightly, okay, let me just wake up. I'm just going to lightly tap it. And as you can see, the water just trickles out. And if I press it a bit harder, and I can also run with it as well. So here is Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, and I just want to see how good the D-pad is for special moves. So let's try the Dragon Punch. It's quite consistent, I would say. Let's try the analog stick. Now, if you haven't already, make sure you install the GameSir app from the Google Play Store, as it has some additional settings to make the control pad a lot more useful. So when you first open it up, you got the Discover tab, and you also got categories, so you can find games by Discover or browsing them by categories. Then we've got Help. It's blank at the moment, possibly because it's a new device. Store for GameSir's other products. And then lastly, we're going to go into the middle option, Devices. So here is the main settings. So firstly, you can find the games that are already installed on the device. You can also manually add them by clicking on the plus button. So we've got the firmware upgrade option, calibrate option, gamepad test, so you can make sure all of the buttons, everything is working. And then we've got the key settings. So here, if you want, you can quickly switch between the Xbox or Switch layout, the L4 button or the R4 button at the back. You can map them, but only to the existing keys on the control pad. You can't say, for example, add the back button to the one of the back buttons on there, if that made sense. Only the existing ones, which is pretty much a shame, but anyway, at least we have an option. Then we've got the sticks, so you can adjust the dead zones for the sticks as well as the analog triggers. Anyway, let's just back out and then add a game. So I'm just going to scroll down for Mega Man, click on add, and it just popped up. So I'm going to click on Mega Man to launch. It could take a few seconds, and then launch in G touch mode. Okay, so we're in the touch mode, as you can see by the blue light here, and none of these controls work, not an issue. So we're going to press the red floating button, and I'm going to be using the L stick first, and I'm just going to drag it to the middle here, or adjust it as center as I can. Then click on add button. Now I'm going to select a button. and then select the button of your choice. So let's go with X, and then drag that here, and it's basically a repeat. You'll press the button until you're finished. Once you're finished, click on close and then save. So now it should start working, as you can see. Fantastic. Okay, so we're still in the G touch mode, as you can see with the blue light. So if you want to swap over to PlayStation mode or Android mode, we have to press the view button and the menu button together for about 2 seconds. So once the lights flash, it's basically switched over, and surprisingly it does work on some of the Android games or emulators, but I'm going to press them again because I think it only works on the Android mode. So we've got the green light up. So let me show you. If I press the chicken button and the D-pad up or down, you can adjust the volume, which is kind of cool. Now the jump button is not on A because on Switch this is the A button. But if I were to press the M button and A button for 2 seconds, that flashes. Now the A button itself is the jump button. Basically they swapped over to, well, you can swap over between Xbox and Switch buttons with just this macro key combination, which is kinda cool. Alright, time for the conclusion. I think this is probably the best telescopic controller out right now. It's a very good size and feels very comfortable to hold and play for long sessions. It's got handy button combinations to switch between different modes. It's got Hall effect analog sticks and triggers, pass-through charging with a headphone jack. The joystick caps are a nice little touch, and the shell swap is a little gimmicky. I think they should have had different shells available, but that's not a deal breaker by any means. As for the price, it is on the premium side at £80, but that is less than the Backbone controller, which is £100 and not as comfortable as this. If you got the cash and want the best, then this is definitely worth looking into. You may find it a little cheaper on eBay. Anyway, that does it for this video. If you have found it useful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for new videos. Thanks for watching, and I will catch up with you in the next video.